Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back to my channel, and let's work for one last time in this gorgeous journal here. This is my Literary Ladies journal, so full of lace and fabrics and gorgeous. I have really enjoyed working in it, and it's just lovely to have a complete contrast to the other journal I've been working on, which is also coming towards the end. I can't believe they've actually ended up being more or less at the same point, even though I started the other one, the Owls and Fairies, quite a few weeks before this one, but somehow we've caught up and they're both almost finished. So I think this could be the last video on this one as well. So let's just dive in and try and get the last few journal cards and tags made for the pockets. And I have done a little bit of preparation. I really didn't want to linger over this any longer than I already have. There's already quite a few videos on this, so let's just dive in, and then I will do a flip through. I'll just show you this one. I did add this little fabric tab because as it was just sitting there with this book page against the music paper, I felt it kind of blended in a bit too much, so I just thought this little bit of fabric would just give it that show it off a bit better and not blend in so much. So I've just done that. That's just a very small little thing I did to kind of finish it off. So I've done that one. Just going to where I need to finish something. So I hadn't realised I hadn't made anything for this pocket, this lacy pocket. So that's what I need to do first, and have made a start. I've got this piece of book page. It's one of my old glue book pages that I've had in my to-do box to finish off to make into a journal card. So I've cut it to size, and I have backed it with some of the papers from the Medieval Mirage kit. So it should just fit in there nicely like that. So yeah, I will cover it around the corners and just finish it off. So let's just put this over this way, I think. So I pulled out a few things that I might be able to use. I'm not quite sure exactly what combo I'm going to use yet, but I thought I'd give myself a few choices and then we'll just get going. So I've got these, I don't know what you call them, toppers from the Medieval Mirage kit. And it's got on here, Antiques, Letters, Ledgers and Ladies. So that's the exact correct name because I'm always getting it in the wrong order. This one I really like. It's really pretty. I also like this one, which I have already cut out just because I thought I might use her. Because then we can kind of add a few things just to finish it off. I've got this piece of paper from the Billy Do kit. So I thought perhaps I could put a piece of that on here behind it, because then that just kind of makes the whole thing pop a little bit more. But I haven't got enough to go over the whole thing, so I might need to take a piece of something else. And I do have this piece, which I believe is upside down. I could put a piece of that behind here. So if I was to put that there, that would also look quite nice. So maybe that's what I need to do. Have a piece from both kits just to make her pop. I mean, the alternative is this one, which is also really pretty, but I think I will stick with this just because I've cut it out and it's got one of my ladies on it. Now it is a little bit too long, as you can see, for the card, and it won't go in that pocket if I keep it whole, but I don't want to lose any of this section. So I think what I might do is round it off and cut it across here and just make this a straight journal card at the top. So maybe that's what I should do first, so that we know what size we're working with. And I think I'll just use my trimmer to make sure I get a straight edge. Got it there. That might be, that's it. And we've already got a bit of a rounded finish, haven't we? So I think that would be okay. Once I've inked it up, you'd never know that it should be shaped at the top. Yeah, that looks okay. So there we are. And I'm just going to tear off the rest of that piece and make sure I've got the size right. So I hope you're all well. I am well, but I had a little accident this morning. Nothing major. Haven't done any real damage, but I tripped up the stairs. I've got a little kind of an edge on the front of my slippers, and it caught on the edge of the staircase as I was going up the stairs, sent me sprawling on the staircase. So I'm a little bit bruised, and that's about it, really. So it's nothing too dramatic. But I have got a very sore big toe where I banged it, which is the toe. I think that's the foot I caught. But at the moment, I can't get my slippers back on. It's a bit sore. I've had some ice on it. So I'm hoping it'll be okay for my trip to Scotland, which I haven't. When you see this, I'll actually be in Scotland. So hello from Inverness. But as of today's filming, it's the week before I go. I'm just getting ahead to cover the time when I am away. So I've got that piece there. And then I need another piece. Where's my card? So I just need a piece there. I think I'm probably going to get a bruise on my arm where I landed on my right arm. It's all on the right side, my right toe and my right, sort of like the top of my arm where I landed. That's a bit sore as well. It's just a bit bruised, I think. I think I'll do that bit because this bit looks a bit upside down. And oops. I think I'll do this piece here. That going there. Oh, it wasn't very straight. Straighten that up a bit. Okay, so let's do this bit again. Kind of fold it sort of there-ish. Right. All my scraps over here. So I've got that piece going there. Is that the piece? Or was that the wrong? Was that the... That was a bit... Was that the bit? No, I think that is the bit. I don't know. And that bit on that side. I might just get rid of a bit of that as well. Don't really need to worry about the edge of this one because it's not going to be seen, I don't think. Got that and that. I'm going to put her on top, and that looks, yep. Don't know whether I want that side on the top or Maybe that one would look better on the top. I think that looks better on the top, even though it's not torn entirely straight. Right, I'm just going to ink around these and glue them on in my usual way. Right, I'll pop her on there like that. Okay, and see if she needs anything else. Trying to think, I might put a bit of lace down the edge because that side it's going to be just sticking out of the pocket a little bit, so maybe a little bit of lace along that edge would be nice. Whoops, don't want to put that on upside down. Okay. Okay, so where's my little bag of lacy bits? No, I don't want to use that. Got that. I've got my little pouch of really pretty laces. Keep adding to it, so it's never going down. I did wonder about this one, which is really, really pretty. Might pop that on there. I think that was on like a gathered band. It was a gathered lace that I've cut the band off, and then you end up with a really pretty piece. Put that on there. And then maybe a little something pink along the edge. If I've got anything that I can add. I might have some pink rickrack somewhere. Yes, I do. Just because I feel like it just needs a little finish, so I might put a bit of pink along that edge. So that's the next thing I want to do. I think we'll probably be alright with glue stick on there. I might just do it on my card, on my book page. Not on my book page, on my glue book. What am I saying? Okay. Oops. So I've got that one there. And we're just going to put a little bit of pretty pink trim along that raw edge. Finish that off. Ooh, I have this. Ooh, I don't know if this is the right sort of thing to be using, but I just saw it. It might be a bit bright, mightn't it? It's really pretty. I think it might be a bit bright for this journal. I don't know. But it is the right length. I know I've just cut a piece of rickrack to fit here. Won't lay flat, but I'll sort that out with the gluing if I need to. Put that there. Kind of like it. I think I quite like that pop of colour. So, sorry rickrack, you're going back in my pouch. Sometimes something just catches your eye and you just think, ooh, I think I want to use that. I'll just be careful that I glue these the right way round. So I generally will use my fabric glue for these, just to make sure they get quite a quick grip. Get a grip, Karen. Get a grip. I think I was a little bit shaken up this morning by my. I mean, it wasn't a tumble. It was just more of a slip, really. But kind of shakes you up when that sort of thing happens. Right. Let's just make sure I'm putting the glue on the back of the leaves. But I actually like that pop of colour. I wonder if my little pink roses would just sit at the top there, whether that would go. I think it might. One of those. Okay. Do I want another one? I don't know. Cut one and see how it looks. Because then it would cover up my messy leaf, wouldn't it, a little bit? Just going to see how it looks in the pocket, because it might be too bulky. Let's just see. I'm not sure how far it'll stick out, so whether that extra flower would be too much. I think it might be too much. So we could just have that sitting there like that. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Kind of think that needs something there, but I'm not sure what. Let's see what I've got in my box. I haven't got a lot left of small things. Wondering if this little letter it's almost like it is like a little tiny envelope. I'm not sure. That mark isn't meant to be a stamp. I could. No, that won't really fit, will it? No. Look, that's not going to work. Got got this, but it's too big. But I wonder about cutting around. I might just cut around that inner frame. Can I pop that there? I think it should be that way up. Just kind of go over the top of that. Or maybe I could just... And we'll have a little label. Okay, apologies. Forgot to turn my camera back on. Oops. I haven't got very far. I mean, I just glued these bits down that you saw, and I just pulled out a little bit of book page to tuck behind my label because it didn't show up very well. And I've just glued those down. That's all I've done. Didn't miss much. And this bit I didn't glue very well. So let's kind of put a little bit of extra glue. Oop, come on, under my banner. Now it's all dried up. Wasn't that long since I used it. Okay. So yeah, that's the card. All finished. I'm really liking that. And let's pop it in. That's it. So I like how that bit of lace just pops out from the side. That looks pretty. Happy with that. Let's move on to see what I've... Just checking that that's coming out. Yes, I did do that. Oh, I used one of those, didn't I, already in there? Yep. I'm just kind of remembering what I did. I actually only made the last video yesterday. So I thought while I had it all out, I'll just carry on and do this last one. Carrying on. Just reminding myself where I am. All right, so I did finish this. This is now dried. We did the little closure on here yesterday, didn't we? And it's dried, and then that just pops open. And anyway, see we'll go through it all again in the flip through. But I really like how that's ended up. Okay. And there's trying to find my next spot that needed something. We already did that one. That. Oh, yes. Okay. So we've got the fabric pockets now on this second signature. So I had the lacy pockets in the first signature. This is actually the 2 signature journal. So I have my lacy pockets in the first one, and then I've got my fabric pockets in this second signature. So I pulled out one of my pieces of book page. I think these were left over from when I was preparing journal cards from my Owls and Fairies. And I thought, well, I'll hang on to them because they're quite handy as little bases. So I've just cut that one to size. And I pulled out some bits to cover it with. So let's get on and do that. So I'm going to back it with this gorgeous paper from the Billet du kit. I think I need a bigger blue book page to do that. I'll just glue on here. Right, so that's lovely backing, nice writing space. And then on this side, I'm going to use piece of this gorgeous paper. Just wondering whether to use bottom piece or the top. I might use the top. I want to put a piece of lace across the bottom, I think. So I'm just going to take it right to the top and glue that on. Really pretty. So, more gluing. Okay, and then I've got this lovely image from the Billet Doux kit for this lady here, just under that rose, so I just think she looks lovely there. I may trim her down a little bit more, and I want to put this bit of lace at the bottom of the journal card. So how's that going to look? There, I think I might just trim her down a fraction more. I definitely don't want the rose at the top to disappear. Okay, so I think that might look a bit better. I'm just going to glue that on. Do I need it to be quite as high as that? I'm just going to glue it on, I think. I may just trim a little bit off. I just rounded those corners retrospectively. I should have done that before I put the lace on, really, but I forgot. So I just want to make sure that the bottom of this lace really is glued firmly, because it's going into that fabric pocket and it could easily catch. And I'm going to put her on there. I'm not even going to round the corners on this. For some reason I just like it the way it is. under that rose. How central is she? Not enormously central. There. I think that's better. Let's give it a little spot of glue, ink around the edges. Right, and for a little topper, I've just cut off a little piece of my remaining snippet roll. Not much left, but I thought that bit would go on there nicely and match. Or should I do it that way round? Yeah, that way round. Just so we've got something poking at the top of the pocket. Right. Let's see how it looks in the pocket. I may have to leave it out to dry for a bit, otherwise it may not come out of the pocket again if I leave it in there. But we can have a look, see how it goes. So that goes in there really nicely like that. What have I lost? Oh, a couple of scraps just fallen on the floor. Nothing new. Okay, so I'm going to leave that out there for the moment. That bit does not want to glue down. And let's just move on a bit further. Right, I've got these little very shallow pockets I've got here, but I have managed to find a few pieces that I think will fit all right, and they're all backed and prepared, so we'll just pop them in. So I've got this piece which is like a little frame, and I just took one of the images from the Billet Doux kit and backed it onto here, and then put some more paper over the back to make it nice and writable if necessary. So yeah, that's a nice little piece. So I think I might pop that up there. It doesn't go in very far, but actually it doesn't matter if it kind of pokes up a little bit. And I have got this, I think this is what I was going to put in. I've got this one of these letters from the kit, which I've just folded into 4. So which way around do we want it? That way, I think. And I'm just going to pop that behind there, because then we can have something going right to the top of the page there. And then it looks like she's writing this letter, doesn't it? Then got a couple of other pieces. I don't know where I'm going to put more, but I've got this lady here just a lady in a frame. I just thought I might pop her in there, or maybe I'll put her here. And I've got this journal card. Will that go in there? So that could go there like that. And then I've got a few little bits. I think this might need a little ink. Another little journal card can go here. Another letter. It's a smaller one, so it folds up a bit smaller. So which way around I want it. I'm going to pop that perhaps behind her in there. And tiny little piece, which may or may not be that way up. Yeah, goes that way. And I just thought I'd pop that in. There. So there we are. We have our pockets nicely stuffed with small things, but they're all writable. They've all got writing space on the back, and it just looks like a nice full page. Oh, a whole load of bits here. So you have the other fabric pocket on this side here. So it's beginning to get a little bit tricky to work in. Might just take this one out while that's drying, and we can see it properly. And I think the first thing I want to do is put something along the edge, because we have edged, if I can find it now, I have put a bit of lace along the edge of this pocket, and I want to do the same. This one's a bit wider, it's just the way it worked out. So I'm going to put this along the edge of this pocket just to cover that raw edge. So let's do that first. I'm just going to put a bit of book page in there to stop the glue seeping through the fabric and gluing the pocket shut. Just while we're working on the journal card. So I can just pop that out the way for a moment. And in my box of bases that I have this piece of, there's a bit of packaging. It had, I don't know, some stickers in the package or something like that. But it's exactly the same both sides. And it's just that nice, that lovely blue that actually appears in the kit. It certainly appears in various parts of the journal. So I thought, well, I could use that, cut it to size to fit the pocket. Not the right pocket. Anyway, I have cut it to size. So I thought I could use this last piece of my, the pad that I got from Temu. This is one with the book and a little pocket watch. And I just thought I could put that on there, show perhaps just a little bit of the colour around the edge. It's not quite big enough, so I wanted something to go along here. So I pulled out a piece of French book page. So I'm going to tear a piece of that to kind of tuck behind. Somehow my rulers have all got pushed under everything. So I'm just going to tear a piece of book page. And where do I want that? there-ish. Can always make it a little smaller. Can't make it any longer. I think I'll just take a piece of this off there. Somehow I managed to make a mess of that tearing. Take a little bit more off the top. And put that there. Kind of there. And this on top. Yep, I thought a bit of French is always a good thing for this journal, as we have got the billet doux kit. Quite a French vibe going on. In some bits of it anyway. Right, let's just ink these pieces up. I'm going to just going to preempt the rounding of the book, of the journal. Journal. No. What's it called? Journal page. My brain's gone. I don't know what's going on. Must be still in shock. Can't think of the words. Journal card. That's the word. What's going on? Right, let's glue these bits on. I'm just going to kind of just tear this little corner off rather than trying to punch it. Seems to make more sense to just shape it a little. Like that. Okay, let's put that on. Where is it? There it is. Standing to attention, right in front of me. Okie dokie, so we've got these all nicely glued on, and I've just got a little bit of extra zhuzhing I want to do at the top. So I got some of this printed fabric that I did and I used for a journal card, and this was a scrap that was left over. I'm just trying to decide which piece I want to use. It's a bit big possibly. I've got these two tiny little pieces. This is like a little tiny envelope. There's a little suggestion of a stamp there, and then I've got this which looks a bit like a little postcard, so I thought, well, perhaps I could just kind of put those there, or maybe tuck that behind, and so that they show up a little bit I was going to put a piece of this behind them, just because I like it. Wanted another chance to use it really, that way up. It's a bit big. Just trying to decide which piece I want to use. Is that wide enough? Not quite. That would make a nice tab, wouldn't it? So I've got it's got a bit more script on this piece. I think I might just need to just trim it down a little bit. Tear it down, should I say. Okay. So I might pop that on there like that. Not too high because I need to put a topper on here. So maybe just slightly to the left. My two little pieces. Could it go there? Let's just see, because I've got a couple of my clusters that I pulled out of my cluster book. And I thought one of these might go quite nicely on here. The blue, I'm not sure, I like it, but everything else is pink, so not sure about that one. This one would go beautifully with the colour in the flowers, if I have it the right way up. I'm just a bit concerned about this pearl at the top, but either way I need to leave a little bit of room at the top to attach it. So I think these will just have to go there. Okay, so I'm just going to use my hot glitter glue for this piece of fabric. There we are, that goes like that. Now I need to put this in the pocket so I can see whether this will work. Oh, the journal's getting quite hefty now. Let's take that out. Put the journal card in. So there's a bit sticking out anyway. And then if we can put it so that I just tuck there and then have this little bit sitting like that. I think that'll be okay. So I just need to put a bit of glue on the back of here. Okay, sure that's quite near the top of the journal card. I've got any glue sticking out. Oh, I have got a little bit. Okay, let's see. I might just put it that far. So yeah, that goes in all right. And I've got my cluster just poking out above the pocket. There. So I think, unfortunately, that is all I'm going to manage to get done today. So I haven't finished. I've got 2 or 3 more pockets still to fill. I have prepared what I want to do, but I think we'll have to get them finished in the next video and possibly if I can manage to do it quickly enough, we'll do the flip through as well and make that just a combined single video. I don't want to drag this out any longer, really. I think it's time to get on with the autumn project and then maybe even get started on some Christmas. I don't really know what I'm doing for Christmas yet, for my Christmas journal, but I've got an idea of my kit. I think I know what kit I might want to use. But I'd quite like to just put everything away from this journal and from the Elves and Fairies, clear my craft room a bit. There might even be a bit of a gap in videos just as I get myself together and decide what I'm going to do next. But I think it's time, and it'll be sad, but I think it'll be nice to sort of move on. So there we are. Pockets getting filled. This one should be dry now. So let's pop that one in. There we go. That one's in. So thank you for joining me for this hopefully penultimate video in this series. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now.